Yo, this is Corey.
What's up, it's Jahi.
And this is Jordan, and you're now
Tapped in to Fatherhood Forward. Before we dive into today's episode, we want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors of this video, Platinum Party Planners.
you already know they one of the best sponsors around. They specialize in birthdays, weddings, baby showers, corporate events, and they even do treats.
And they hit.
That's a fact. So y'all see this beautiful furniture that we have on set today.
Facts.
It's courtesy of Platinum Party Planners. So shout out to the ladies over there.
Yes, sir. Big shout out to the Platinum Party Planners. You already know they're going to make your event shine every time.
Bling. Blow. Let's get it.
What is up, everybody?
Yeah.
Yo, what's good with y'all, man?
What's poppin', fellas?
What's up? We are here for installment number 3 of what we now call Dad Stories. Today we are here with our guest, supporter of the podcast. He has a podcast himself, father, sports analyst.
He's hallucinating.
My boy Miles Stacks, man. What's up, Mal? How you feeling?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. First, I want to say I appreciate y'all inviting me on the pod, man. Definitely a big supporter of y'all movement. You know what I'm saying? Y'all they're doing a real good thing with pushing a positive message for fathers to follow and even for the mothers to be engaged on your Instagram posts and other social media posts too. So I just want to say appreciate y'all for inviting me on and definitely keep going strong, man.
Definitely appreciate it, man. Definitely appreciate it.
For sure.
Before we get into it, Mal, lift your camera up a little bit.
All right, yeah,
so we can just see a little bit more of your headspace. There you go. Show off that Tatum, that bum ass Tatum jersey.
Chill. You know you about to win the chip, man.
For anybody who doesn't know, Mal is a Boston Celtics fan.
Oh man,
die hard. You feel me? I got the pajama sweats on right now, but we ain't gotta go that far.
Nah, that's crazy.
We ain't gotta go that far. I got the Bron jersey right here, though. You feel me? Tatum, Jordan.
That nigga, all right.
Yeah,
all right. So before we get into things, we always do what we call our weather report. Mal, you're a supporter of the pod, so if you know, if you don't know, we just go around round table and we basically share how what's our mood and we relate it to the weather.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to go, you can go first.
Shit, I'll go.
I mean, shit. Yeah, I was about to say it's raining outside.
Oh, you go ahead then, bro. Since it's raining.
Nah, yeah. I was about to say, it's been a stormy weekend this weekend, but I think this how the weather represents my mood. I'll go this way is that the rain kind of just makes a new slate for me. You feel me? I got a lot of new beginnings going on. I feel like this right here is kind of like a fresh start. Wash all the bad stuff away, wash all the negativity away, and then you know what I'm saying tomorrow's going to be a little sunny, so that's when new journey come in. So that's how I would say my mood check-in is right now. How about you guys?
Shit, it's a little cloudy for me. My son woke me up about 5:30 this morning. I'm just a little tired, man. I'm finding myself trying to get a nap in all day. I couldn't complete that. You know, the guys is over earlier. After they left, I tried to get a nap in. Corey ends up calling me. I'm like almost there. Like,
sorry, bro.
But yeah, man, I'm just a little tired today. That's all.
Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. I didn't know you were asleep. You should have told me. Man, you better put your phone on Do Not Disturb. I love Do Not Disturb. Shit, I tap in, man. My weather report. I ain't gonna say it's sunny. I ain't gonna say it's cloudy. I would say it's a little windy. I can say like it's a little windy in my world. The wind is blowing me one way and another. And you know what I mean. I look at it like the wind ain't gonna blow forever. You know what I mean. I'm gonna end up landing in a place and the sun will come out and everything will be all right. But right now it's just a little windy, man. So we just weathering the storm.
And that's what you got a jacket for, right, brother? A coat.
Yeah.
So, for me, I think I'm like partially sunny.
Mm.
Things are going well, but I think I'm in a position where I have to make the right decisions, and that's where
Mm.
the partially like sunny thing is, because like depending on the decisions that I make, it can take me to the sun or to the clouds. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And I've been in these positions before, and sometimes I make the wrong decisions, and now I think it's a matter of age and how much responsibility that I just have today, where I'm more critical of the steps that I take. Cause I'll be looking back at the moments like, damn, bro, you could have did that better.
Mm.
So yeah, that's me today.
Yeah, facts.
Okay.
I feel you on that one, bro.
Yeah. So I hope we all make it to the sunny side in due time, fellas. You know, these things happen in life in seasons for a reason, and things shall
Mm.
pass.
For
Right?
sure.
Facts. That's
Yeah.
the beauty of parenthood. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Some days are better than the others. So
Facts.
we're here to hear Mal's story, man. Like wherever you want to go, bro. You can start from.
Yeah, all right, so I can start from when I found out I was having my son. You feel me? I was a freshman in college at Dell State. I was with my high school sweetheart at the time, you feel me? So when I heard the news, I'm not gonna go too deep into detail on that, but I was just excited, you feel me? Like it could have been a life or death situation. Turned out that she was actually pregnant with my son, you feel me? So the the emotions I felt that day kind of carried on throughout the whole pregnancy. I'm trying to do any and everything I can to, be there for my son, doctor's appointments, supporting her through everything as well, you feel me? And then sure, I had my son at 19. So well, he's 7 now. I'm 27, so it's been a long journey for us as far as growth and everything goes. You feel me? So,
Mm.
I think the beautiful thing about everything is that we started at such a young age with him, and kind of just our memories that we built from father and son. So even from it taught me patience. You feel me? A lot of
Mm,
times when I was stressed out with something, or I'm like, I gotta get to work, I gotta do schoolwork, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. When I was looking at my son, it kind of just brought me back down to that. Yo, things gonna be all right because as long as he's healthy, I mean, I'm doing my job as a parent. But then now I gotta take care of the things for myself. You feel me? Like I gotta make sure that Mal is good, you feel me? Because I named him after me, and we call him
mm,
Cam, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I want him to understand. We got the same name, because you're the third, obviously, but you're your own person. So anything that dad does, you can do, yes. But I want you to always strive to be better than what I'm doing. And same for myself. Like I see my pops is doing great. He a great man, great leader. Then I take those attributes and now I try to pass it on to my son. At the same time, retain that information. And speaking with you guys about fatherhood, that's why I feel like the podcast is very important. Seeing you guys speak about fatherhood, the trials and tribulations, things ain't always glitz and glamour how social media make it seem. You feel me? It's really a lot of like daily battles that we go through that people won't see. But again,
mm,
that's why I spoke on earlier. Like that's the beauty of parenthood because you see a beauty pageant, it's all makeup and everybody right there looking all good on stage, but we ain't seeing all the directors in the background, the makeup artists, the moms, the dads going crazy trying to get their daughter. And even for basketball, it's like, well, sports wise, it's parents getting their kids ready for the sports game. You get on the court, football field, whatever, you performing. But we ain't talking about that car right there where it's like, yo, I need you to do this. I need you to do that. I really need you to
mm.
check on your. I need you to really check everything off the checklist. You feel me? Same thing with school too. But I would say my journey with school, my journey with being a parent, and everything. I wouldn't change it for anything. And that's the reason why I only got one kid right now. Is more so like I want more kids in the future. But I really wanted that relationship with my first child because I already knew I had him young, so there's gonna be a gap in between time. You feel me? So the gap is really to understand life. Like yo, when you do get a brother or sister, you gonna be the one that's gonna be able to communicate with them on how much their parents love them. You feel me? Because parents can always say it, but it's really good for you to hear from an outside source sometimes. But you want it to come from a good source. So why not give you everything I can give you right now, and then get you prepared for a good future. Same thing when your brothers and sisters come along too. So I ain't gonna be like a long winded, but that's kind of like my mindset when it comes to parenthood and just the journey I've been on so far.
This nigga's good.
Yeah.
You could tell.
Yeah.
You could tell.
He said
You
it.
could, yo.
Yeah.
Go,
Yeah. Chill,
Go
go to
ahead.
bro.
Go ahead, Corey. I
Yeah,
know you got something.
yeah.
Oh, all right. Nah, I was just gonna ask, like, because I know you started off saying, you was in school when you found out you was
Mhm.
gonna have your first son.
Yeah,
So like talk about like the challenges with that, because that's not easy. You know what I mean? Especially
Yeah,
like your freshman year, like
I
you
was
still
gonna
kind of
ask that
getting
too.
acclimated to school. Yeah,
yeah.
because that had to be a
So I
pretty
kind
hard time.
Yeah, so like I kind of took it on a different route probably than normal. Like now that I'm older, I see a lot of people have kids and they stay in school. My mindset flipped. It was like, how do I go now and be a leader of my family? Like, so I was like, I can always finish school when I need to. I need to be
Hmm.
able to be there to provide for my child. I need to be able to be there to provide for his mom and everything at the time too. You feel me? So that's kind of like where my mindset switch had flipped. But to keep on the school subject, like I'm still in undergrad right now. But what I've done is that I've realized too, finishing college is the most important thing is that you finish. You feel me? It don't matter what age you are and
For
what age
sure.
you
Mm-hmm.
start or you stop or start. It's just about finishing, getting that degree. So I'm definitely I got 13 classes left for my undergrad in business, so I'm definitely gonna finish that. But you know, one thing I did do as well is I just took those life challenges and I went from working um, I'll say that they involved me. I ain't like it's not like I'm going back there. You feel me? I wound up working there for my first job. Then I wound up working at Dart too. So I tried different fields. You feel me? And then I found myself at where I'm at now, which is in the baking world. So it's like that's where I really want to be at. You feel me? So even having a child early, it didn't knock me off my goal. It just made me detour a lot, but it taught me a lot about life during that time period. That I'm seeing kids now graduate college, they can't get a job. So it's not like, you feel me, graduating is always going to be the answer for you. But the
Mm-hmm.
reason why I mention that is because I don't want people to get deterred from finishing school or not finishing school. When you live in America, it really is the land of the free. You got to live the dream, you feel me? But the dream is to each individual. That's what I've realized. It's like, it's not always about all the money. It's not always about all the fame and everything like that. It's really what you decide as success. So what I
Mm.
deem as successful in my life may not be the same as y'all. But as long as it's something positive and given to the world,
Hmm.
then I think we're on the right path. So that's kind of like where I've been at, these last 7 to 8 years with everything. But yeah, finishing school always been on top of my list. But I also got to make sure that I'm good mentally because I'm not trying to be stressed out around finals time or be stressed out about an exam or a paper or something like that. When I got real life issues, and you got, rent, car payments, that's real stuff. You feel me? Like
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You ain't
you feel
lying.
me? That's what I was. Yeah, you feel me? That's what I mean as far as like real life issues. The degree is going to be perfect. It's going to catapult me in my career. I hope so. You feel me? So I'm definitely a big about that too. But I'm also big about learning outside of the school system because being in school for business is teaching you to be an employee. It's not telling me how to operate my own business. But see, I know that going in, so I'm not trying to use something that's not meant to be used for. You feel me? So
Yeah.
I'm really just trying to learn their game and learn how to operate the game at the same time. So when I'm ready to launching my own successful business ventures, I kind of already know like the background works of it. You feel me? So yeah, that's to answer your question. That's really like my answer for it.
Yeah, no, I respect it. So like was there any like
Mm.
fear also, like at the time, like
Oh
being
yeah,
being young, being in school?
I was scared. I was really scared about telling my family. It was crazy because I was the that track meet at UD. This is when Del State was going up to UD when UD had their track team. It may not be there right now. I think they might have disbanded their track team. But anyway, my aunt was there and she was like, she's telling my baby mom, she like, "Oh, you're pregnant." Me like, "Huh? Like, what are you talking about?"
Yo, they
He
be
didn't. He didn't even
knowing,
know. You feel
man.
me?
It's
They
Yeah,
do
it's
they
be
be
always
knowing.
that one
knowing.
family member that be knowing, bro. Like,
Yeah, and
Mm.
it's one of my closest aunts. You feel me? So she said it, and I'm like, I didn't even think nothing of it. But then when I found out, oh yeah, I was one of them people. I wasn't calling everybody. I just sent a text out like, yo, I just pregnant. And obviously it's my girlfriend at the time, but I wasn't about to do a face to face with everybody on that. So
Yeah.
the fear, I would say the fear really came in. I'm pretty sure you guys can attest to this. It's really just about the trying to be that perfect parent, and there's really like no book that's given to you when your child is born. You feel me?
hmm
So I seen you guys talking about the maternity visits and how you was the day of like the actual the baby being born. So my son was born on Thanksgiving. You feel me? So even then it was like it's
Mm.
just crazy because it's like I'm trying to plan around Thanksgiving. We had a baby shower the week before, so we don't know when he's gonna come. Then it's like one thing I will mention too is that they don't really give black mothers the attention they need when they're in the delivery room or in labor. You feel me? So that
Mm-hmm.
was a real big thing too. That's where the fear came in. It's not that she had a bad pregnancy; she had a great pregnancy. The fear was that they kept sending her home when she was already, you know what I'm saying, whatever the thing is, dilated a certain
Mm-hmm.
amount of centimeters, you feel me? So, yeah, just doing more research on that kind of brought fear, but also understanding of the medical world that you can't rely on doctors to give you an answer for everything because they still practicing medicine, you feel me? So they only gonna go off the notes that they got. So that was kind of like the biggest fear for me was getting over that hump. And then just once I seen them come out, you know what I mean, it was kind of like, all right, bet now it's time to get things rolling. Like had things already in motion, but let's really get things rolling. Like, because when you get a certain age, I want you to have that mindset of just I can do whatever I put my mind to. So, but the
Yeah.
fear always gonna be there, bro. And the biggest fear is when they go to school. You feel me? I'm not sure how old y'all kids are, but even if they in daycare or not, preschool, kindergarten, first grade, or so on. But it's like sending my child off to the school is what puts fear in me sometimes because it's like seeing the everything that's going on in the news sometimes. I don't really pay attention to it because there's a lot of propaganda in there, but it's still knowing that it's the truth. When we got storms and they like, oh, the kids still got to come in, I'm like, oh, damn, let the lights go out, or, you know what I mean, let something
Mm-hmm.
happen.
Yeah.
Like, that's more so the fear of what I got now. It's like external things that I can't control. That's where the fear will come in at, but
Nah, I can understand that.
yeah.
So since you said you're still in school for your undergraduate, and you went to Del State, you said, right?
Yeah, I started in the fall of 2016. Been a minute, you feel me? So
That's
we getting there,
crazy.
we getting there. You
I
feel
was
me?
there. I
Yeah.
was there at that time. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's all good, bro. No shit. You had real life that happened. You know what I'm saying?
You feel me? Facts.
So you have to do what you have to do. Um, but since you didn't finish, like, what was your plan of action? I assume you felt like you needed to step away and get things
Mm-hmm.
together. What was so what you just went straight to the job and stack paid? What it like? What did that
Yeah.
look like for you?
I mean, it's a lot that happened in those months afterwards. So my son was born, so I'll keep it short. I won't go like on a long tangent about every detail. But my first thing I did when I left school was I opened up my business license. You feel me? I wanted to have my own, like it's still a dream of mine, not a dream of mine, it's a goal I'm eventually gonna do, is to have my own training facility. It might not be like the biggest warehouse, something like that, but just to have a facility where I could train my athletes, train my kids at. It's for me. That's something that I'm really passionate about and doing. So that was the first thing I did when I graduated. I mean, when I left school, I opened up a business license for it's called P's and Q's training. You feel me? I think Lil Uzi might have just dropped the song P's and Q's by that time. So I was like, hold on, that John. You feel me? I took the name and everything for the training thing. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing I realized during that time was is that I went to the bank for a loan, and they told me, like, the guy told me straight up, yo, you only 18 at the time, you're not going to get approved for a loan, and especially being black, you're not getting approved. So that's kind of like, all right, listen, I can always come back and do this when I get the credit right, when I get all the stuff I need to open up those type of things. So that's when I started when I was working at Valvoline. The plan at Valvoline was eventually getting a dart. I did that for a year and a half, and then I wound up going back to DSU until I landed at the current job I'm at now. You feel me? So it's just been a lot of pivoting, but the plan is to always make more money at each step. Find the best job where I could do less and make more. I'm not about to go to a job and do more and make less. I'm like, hold on, that don't make sense. So
For sure.
that's the plan. That's the plan for everything. Even at the current job I'm at. If I'm switching roles, if I'm switching departments, I'm going somewhere that's gonna pay me more, you feel me? And then if they pay me more, what I'm realizing is the more you're getting paid at these jobs, the less you're really doing to if we keep it in the buck, that's really how they doing it. You feel
Facts.
me? So so
Facts.
that's kind of like that's why I try to tell everybody. That's why I'm learning from this journey is like work corporate America how corporate America work you. That's my mindset. Like I'm not about to sit here and I'm not gonna be like this to all my coworkers at work. You feel me? There's no need to be because then it's gonna cross certain. Humans be very emotional. We become very attached to people that we're around. One thing I realized is that you can't say you can't trust people, but you have to be very, very wary of the people you're telling information to because you don't know their intentions with it. So that's always my
Mm-hmm.
mindset. I treat corporate America how corporate America treat us. You ain't about to replace me because I'm just I'm this number statistic, and I'm not about to replace my family with you. You feel me? So I'm not going to do everything you need me to do. I'm gonna do enough to keep progressing. I know how to work the game. I'm not a slouch by any means. I'm a hard worker, but I'm not about to work myself to death when you could just. If I was to die at my job tomorrow, what they gonna do? Post it coming right up online. Hey, we got this
Mm-hmm.
role open right here, or we could move a person. You feel me? So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm really big on like community and growth because it's more than just your job title. No matter what you're doing, you feel me? Like you're always. That's how I look at it. Now I keep it at this. We're a statistic on the graph chart. That's all we are. So wherever we fall in between the median, that's where you're gonna fall at. How are you making a bunch of money, or you got a little bit of money, or you got a lot of money? You're gonna fall somewhere within this line and this dot, and that's where you're gonna be placed at. And the thing is in America is that you have to take that advice and just go on with it. Because if you mad at your current position or what you currently doing, you gotta get yourself out of there. Like, you feel me? Nobody gonna come down and just give you a 100 million. You feel me? You gotta work for that type of stuff, or even 100,000, 50,000, those type of things. You gotta really work to reach these goals, and it could be very draining, very tiring. But you feel me? If you got a goal in mind, then that's really what you gotta do. So that's kind of just the mindset I've been taking up these last couple of years.
I respect it.
Facts. What field are you in now, if you don't mind sharing?
So I won't say the bank I'm at, but I was in collections for the last 3 years. I recently switched over to merchant servicing, so it's basically dealing with like all small business clients and helping and servicing them for their business needs. So this is something new that I'm picking up on. It's a lot of different terminology and everything like that, but that's why one thing I realized too. Once you get into if you can get into a job that's supposed to have a degree with it, once you get in the job, it's just how you perform with the job. You feel me?
Facts.
So mentioning about school, there's a lot of people at this job who could make 100,000 not even have a degree. There's a lot of people that's in management who don't have a degree. So
Facts.
the degree helps you to a certain extent. You feel me? It's really about how you can work, how quick you can learn something in a position, how quick you can excel in a position, and how good you are at talking. See, I had to learn through the interview process of how to actually interview. Even though I knew they call it the STAR method. You feel me? It's about speaking to the situation and answering the questions a certain way. I knew that going in, but actually going through the interview process in corporate America actually helped me progress in that. But yeah, that's the fun I'm in right now. It's a new line of business for the company I'm with. As far as them getting into it, but I mean, if y'all know what merchant servicing is, if you don't, that's basically the payment processing that goes on with when people put a card into into the device at a Wawa, whatever. Yeah, the terminal. I'm basically the person behind that deals with like the processing and the fees of the merchant, which is the business owner at the time, who pays the fees and all that stuff. So I'm in like the back end process of that. So I just got into this role a couple of weeks ago, like I was telling Job before we started shooting. So like I'm very new into this field, but it's very exciting to be out of a field where like collections is cool and all, but it's way better to be in a field where you can actually see things work a certain way. So it's definitely interesting.
Yeah,
Yo, I want to ask both of y'all a question because Corey, you work in corporate America too, right?
Yeah.
Slightly off topic, but for any we're black men, of course. For any black men out there who are aspiring to go in corporate, what is some advice that you have for them? But beyond like the interviewing process, because that's important as well. But when you in the actual role, you know what I mean? Because I know it's different. Like my uncle works in a hospital, and it's different levels of corporate. But he's like one of the only black men that does what he does is in the hospital, so he's alienated a little bit. I don't know if y'all feel like that at all, but just some perspective.
Me personally, like I don't really look at all that. I just go and work and I be myself. Like I know I got the job. It's gonna take a lot for you to fire me because I do my job well. Like I go in there and be myself, bro. I make my connections, and I can tell you that's the advice I give you in corporate America, bro. It's all about who you know. Make them connections. That's really it. And that's what I was about to say to you too, Mal. I if we still at the same spot, I know some people in that area, so we could talk after this if we still at the same spot, and I can connect you with some people.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Nah, we could definitely talk about that. I was actually trying to run into you before. I ran into a couple of times beforehand at work and stuff like that. You feel me? I was just trying to run into you and let you know all the good news and stuff.
Yeah, because I know that.
Just keeping in touch about that.
Yeah, I know that area. They in a different building. If we talk about the same, we talking about the same.
Yeah, I just moved over there beginning of February, bro.
Congrats,
day after my birthday, I started.
Congrats.
Yeah, appreciate it,
man.
Yeah.
Look at our corporate America brothers, man.
That's what I'm saying. Connections, bro. It's all about connections. Like
that's really what it's all about. Yeah.
Facts.
But to answer your questions, I mean, I'm gonna mention a lot too what Corey say about personally being yourself. Kind of what I mentioned about earlier too, leaving your personal life at home and just having like a corporate version of yourself. So you can go to work, be bubbly. You actually gotta smile. You gotta talk to people, because what happens is that even like the company I'm at, they're big on like mentorship. So getting a mentor, so you can learn how these people operate, learn how these people network, learn how they talk. That's when you first hear. When you hear managers talk a certain way, they're not talking like, "Hey, I'm this, I'm that." They talking like, "Are we talking right now?" You like, "Oh, okay." Now it's more so just about getting past that first impression is very important. So if you're gonna go meet somebody in corporate America, your mentor or of a department you may eventually interview in, it's nothing wrong with this. You don't gotta have a full suit on. Just wear like a little nice button up. You feel me? Some nice slacks, some nice shoes, something that's like really presentable that the next person not gonna do. Because you're gonna see people in full suits, but they may not have a personality like you. So your personality is like a wallow. You feel me? That's what you kind of want to have, but you want to be able to mold it into a corporate version of that. You want to be a go-getter for sure, but you want to go about it the right way. Just because you're interviewing for jobs, but maybe you're going to get the job. But then they're going to look at you and see how you acting if you don't get the job. You feel me? Somebody always watching. Believe it or not, regardless of company you at, they go always watching you, because if you tell your people you trying to be a manager or something like that, then they gonna look at you to lead your teammates, even though you're not even in a leadership role. You feel me? They want to see you taking them next steps. So depending on the person you are, it really depends on the person you are, because you'll have people in certain roles for 20, 25, 30 years. They sound crazy, but they don't have like that motivation to move up in it. And there's nothing wrong with it, you feel me? Because you need people like that in your company to show that you can have tenure. When you can have tenure in the company, they're not showing like, okay, this is sustainable. This could really be a livelihood for individuals. Now, the more you move around in different departments you try out, the piece of advice I would give is that beware of just going to departments because there's more money. Just because there's more money, I mean the grass is always greener. That's the advice I was given. But that's why, like, Corey, like I had to be mindful of where I'm trying to go. You feel me? Because like I said, I ain't trying to go somewhere and have to work 1,000 hours for 40 hours in a week. You feel me? So you got to really be mindful of the places you're going to interview for. That's kind of just my advice I would give to people that's in corporate America, or if you intern it. The first thing you should do after your first meeting is send an email to whoever y'all did training with. That'll give you all the roses and flowers you need to enter when you enter a room, you want them to know that you're entering a room. Because if not, you're just not a person on the team. That's what you want to be able to do small things, take responsibility, ask your manager, what can you do to like help out, relieve stress for them. Don't put too much on your plate where you're gonna be, run dry, but do a little bit more than the average person. That's all you gotta do. Nothing more than that. Don't kill yourself with everything. Just do a little bit more than the average person and perform well in your role or your job, whatever it is. And I'm telling you, that's going to at least get you to that next step. And then you figure out how you move after that.
That's great advice, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Wait.
Time out. Wait a minute. Before you go any further, we have a message for you guys.
I need y'all guys to smash that like button.
Hit it.
Smash that follow button.
Bam.
Smash that subscribe button.
Do it.
Turn them noties on.
I need it.
Why? So just to let people know why this is important.
If we really trying to grow this channel, man, we need all of y'all support. Every single viewer from this video, from this episode, smash that like button like Jordan said. It's going to help us grow this channel and reach new heights, reach new audience to help us grow our community like we plan to do with Fatherhood Forward.
Appreciate y'all. Hit that red button.
Let's get back to the show.
I wrote these down beforehand. I was prepared. Don't worry about it.
Jordan, you got anything from now?
Yeah. So
if not, I got another question.
You mentioned that your son was 7 and y'all in corporate America world. Have you started teaching him the power of a dollar bill yet?
I would say this. My son understands money, but I don't try to drive the importance of it to him at that age. Only because my dad, when I was younger, when I was like 7 or 8, he gave me the Rich Dad Poor Dad book, right? So it's a great book. People use it all the time for like understanding the responsibilities that come with like understanding finance at a young age and everything like that. But the one thing is that what I'm realizing is that as you're getting older, you're not going to remember the book at 7 to 8 years old. If I read that book at 15, 16, 17, I'm going to remember everything when I'm in my 20s, you feel me? So it's very important time to teach a child about finances because, speaking of my aunt, she has my little cousin like in this banking program out in Nevada, you feel me? So my family's big on like teaching kids finances. My thing is that how we teach them is very important. So my son understands that he doesn't understand the power of a dollar, but he understands he won't get something without work. So, for
Mm-hmm.
instance, he asked me for a Beyblade, which is crazy because Beyblades are
That's
somehow
like our
coming back in
time. Yeah.
style.
Nah,
That's
they
what I'm.
still
Mm-hmm.
around,
Yo,
bro.
trust me. Yeah, yeah. He came home from school, asked for a Beyblade, but I told him you gotta be good for a month straight. So he's good for a whole month, then you get a Beyblade. So it's really just about me, from in my eyes, for parenting, is about teaching them the responsibility of working for something and getting rewarded for working hard. So you're not going to get nothing in this world without having to work for something. When you get into a corporate America, and I'll end it at this, when you get into corporate America, it's not just days or weeks you got to do good at. You got to do good at months to a year to years
Mm-hmm.
in your role to get progress to the next one. You feel me? So you're not going to get rewarded just for doing your job good. You got to do your job good to great and be consistent with it monthly. You feel me? So that's kind of like the mindset I've been trying to pass on to my son. Like, you'll get whatever you want, cool. Because if I got it, you gonna get it. But I'm not going broke for you to get it. So if I ain't got it right now, hey, dad ain't got it. You feel me? But if I do got it, you got no choice but to get it. But my whole thing is like, you gotta understand that everything you're asking for, I'm gonna make you work for it. I'm not gonna make you do like all the chores in the house every week. But it's really just about being good. If you're good in school and you're not giving nobody trouble at home, you get whatever you want. You feel me? Because that's your reward for being a good student and a good son.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? But if you're being bad, now you're not getting nothing for the whole month or for the next couple of weeks. Don't ask for nothing because you already know that you need to know the consequences of your actions. So to
Mm-hmm.
answer your question about the power of the dollar, I don't try to use it a money thing because I don't want to push that monetary thing on a child. But I really try to teach them about the consequences of good and bad actions, and then you have to be stern when it comes to that because if I'm not, then he's gonna do bad and expect to get rewarded. You feel me? And I don't want that because you're teaching. Well, I'll be teaching him bad habits
Right.
to keep. And I don't want to do that.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Um,
funny.
Mm.
I wanted to share a little a little funny
Yeah,
story I
yeah.
had with my
Mm.
oldest Sincere. Like I said it on here before, I talk to my son like he one of us, you know what I mean? And he
Facts.
understand, you know what I mean, what I be telling him to a degree. So I take him to daycare every morning, and
Mm.
like he know, like, I mean, when I gotta go drop him off, he know that I'm going to work if I gotta go drop him off. So you know what I mean, you see me at work, I got my glasses on and shit. And of lately he been wanting to wear his sunglasses in the morning. So we in the car driving to daycare. He like, Daddy. I'm like, what's up, buddy? He like, yeah, when I get bigger, I'm gonna wear my glasses and I'm gonna go to work and I'm gonna get some money and I'm gonna buy all the toys. I'm like, that's what you're gonna do when you get your money? He's like, yep.
Yeah.
I mean, just like you. I'm like, all right, man, because he know, like, I said, if I tell him like, all right, I gotta go to work, he like, why? Like, I don't like telling my son like because I said so. I feel like that could never be my answer. So I
Oh
gotta
yeah,
come
for
up with an
sure.
answer. Like, and if he asks me why I gotta go to work, I'm like, yo, like I gotta go make some money. Like, you want new
Mm.
toys and stuff, right? That you asked for. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is how I gotta go get it. So like he know, like, all right, Daddy gotta go to work. If Daddy go to work, then I could try to get some new toys. Like, so it's just like I try to give them little nuggets now for, you know what I mean, when they get older, he know, like, all right, if we don't go to work, then ain't nothing gonna happen.
Facts.
what we all have boys, right? I think I'm the only one with a daughter here. But we all have boys. So Mal, your son is 7, and like throughout
Mm.
your journey, and we're all in similar journeys. Me, Jordan, and Corey, because our sons are just a little closer in age. Well, a
Yeah.
lot closer in age. What has been the most challenging part of your fatherhood journey? Up until today.
I would say is understanding my son, and not saying like I'm not around him or spending time with him. I'm always around him, always involved in everything he does. But I would say really understanding the individual that he is going to grow into, and it's like the personality traits. I'm talking about behavioral wise, character wise, everything he chooses to do. Is like I'm really trying to sit back and understand him. You feel me? Because I want to be able to connect with him, which we have a great connection. But I would feel like understanding my child is probably like the biggest challenge I've had because kids change. They can change when they wake up,
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
change when they go
Yeah.
to sleep, when they're hungry, tired, in the mood, or what. So it's really just understanding my child. You feel me? And I would say the other thing too, besides the understanding thing, is always making sure that I'm spending time with him to make sure that he feel satisfied with the time that we're being spent together. Because I may feel good with if him in the room, we may not even like how it is sometimes you sit with your kids, like you may not even want to talk sometimes. You got TV on, chilling, or you got snacks, food, whatever, cool. But sometimes the kid want to, yo, hey, dad, can we go for a walk? Can we go for a run? Can we go to the park? Even when us going to the park, he wants me to play with him at the park. Even though I'm really big on like, yo, go play with the other kids, it's still in my mind, the back of my mind is like, sometimes you got to sacrifice your own feelings and your own emotions for your kids, because not only will they need you now at this age, imagine when they get ready for college. Imagine when they get their own apartment, their own house, their own wife, their own kids, their own family. They're always going to come back to their parents as their first resource. You feel me? So kind of like understand the challenge with that. Those are like my two things I've been like dealing with daily, because like I say, life is always throwing different things at you. Like Corey mentioned about taking the kid to this, his kid to school in the morning. Now with my new schedule, I'm able to do that. So like I'm happy about doing that. You feel me? Because it gives a little time in the morning to communicate on what the plan should be for that day. You feel me? So yeah, that's kind of like the challenges that have been on my daily board right now.
Damn.
What grade is your son in?
Yeah,
Like second?
yeah, I am
First?
first. Yeah, let's see. My last thing on that, I'll say last thing on that. Since he's in first grade and he's 7, but he's really tall. You feel me? So
He tall. He can ball
he
mile.
tall. Yeah, he tall. He really tall. So it's like the kids think he's older than what he is. Teachers think he's older than what he is, but he's only 7. So imagine a 7-year-old just in a taller body. It's like it could be very, hard to explain to people that, he's still mentally a 7-year-old. He's not 10 years old, you feel me? So you gotta have a little bit of grace with his behavior sometimes. So that's kind of the only challenge we have of like him being in school, is that people think he's older than what he actually is. He's a 7-year-old, you feel me? He's very academically smart. It's not an issue. It's just like his social wise, you feel me? He still has that 7-year-old mentality where you're going to get disrupted and stuff like that. But he's not a bad student. You feel me? So get him to understand that. It's like, yo, you got to understand the growing pains that come with being bigger than anybody. I was never bigger than anybody growing up, so I don't know. You feel me? All I can do is try to be understanding of how you feel when people want you to play with them and everything. But you know, if you bump a kid, they may not move. But if he bumps somebody, they flying over the room. I'm like, all right, you can't do that. You feel me? So just trying to get him to understand like his size and everything is also another challenge. Yeah.
Yo, so you do the co-parenting thing now, right?
Yeah.
How has that been for you? Because from the outside in, it seemed like you and Cam's mom like have a good relationship. How's that been so far?
Yeah, I would say, see, with us, like we started out as best friends before we even dated each other. You feel me? Then we dated for about 6, 7 years at a younger age. You know what I'm saying? When we split, we were in our 20s, early 20s. So, it was the reason why we split was so we didn't get that hatred toward each other that we see a lot of people go through with co-parenting. You feel me? So one thing I do try to tell people, if you're not with the child's mother, keep that relationship good. Y'all don't gotta
For
always
sure.
hang out or stuff like that, but if you can keep that relationship good, it'll make your life 100 times easier and make her life 100 times easier. You feel me? So always keeping that in mind, that our relationship is dependent on me and her, but when it comes to our son, we have to do everything for him to make sure he's straight. So what I got at my house, you gotta have at your house, and vice versa. You feel me? So let's just try to find that balance. But I would say like our biggest, even like the biggest thing we've overcome is like just that emotional period. Because when you first split with somebody, but you gotta see them if not every day, every week. You feel me? Every other week to switch days and stuff with your child or whatever. That's probably the hardest thing for couples and things to deal with. I would say you just gotta be mature about the situation. You feel me? There's no reason why, unless you don't really know the woman you have a kid with. I can't speak on that. But if you actually love somebody, you have a child with them, you always want to see them doing good for themselves. So that's always been a message that I try to push. Support her. She gonna support you. Y'all don't gotta be best friends, whatever case may be. But for us, we never lost like that friendship. So we can chill or not chill and everything be cool. You feel me? And when it comes to Cam, we're both gonna be at his events. Our family's gonna be there. My family and her family. You feel me? His kindergarten graduation, both families gonna be there. Just about being cordial with each other and having things move and you know what I'm saying, move in motion. Because we each a part of the system. So I mean, I can't do it
Facts.
without her, and she can't do it without me. If he needs to learn to turn emotional, he come to both of us. But when it comes to like teaching your son how to go to the bathroom, it shouldn't be on the mom to teach his son how to go to the bathroom. It should be on the dad. You feel me? Because he's not gonna be going to the bathroom sitting down when he gets in a certain 8 grades. You feel me? He needs to be standing up. You know what I mean? Doing this thing right. So just those small things play a big part. But yeah, co-parenting. I say you gotta take it day by day. I know people are more emotional. Me and her have a good relationship, so we're not really that emotional toward each other. And that aspect of like arguing, whatever. I don't gotta deal with that. It's really just about us providing for Cam. If we doing a party, let's plan out months in advance. Or I'm saying last year he went to California for his birthday, so we could do stuff like that and it not be an issue. You feel me? But like I said, everybody's situation is different. I would just say just be mature about it and do the best for your child.
Respect.
Absolutely.
That's what's up,
Absolutely.
dog. Easier said than done. I might say too. For
Oh
some.
yeah, for sure, yeah. But no, that's listen. My situation is way different. That's why I say, look, she didn't try to do like none of that child support stuff. I still, if a dad says that they're dealing with that specifically, I can't give you advice because I don't know how that system is. I don't know what it's dealing with the courts and everything. See, that's why I say you got to end on good terms. You feel me? Because that person won't have hatred for you. They gonna want to see you do better. They won't want to see
Mm.
you not be able to make enough money to provide for your child, or because you know what I'm saying. Now you got the whole thing now where people having kids just for the earned child tax credit. You feel me? So just because they get more dependent on their taxes or something like that. So who you have a child with is very important. That's rule number one. And I always say you should know the person before you have a one night stand. Next thing you know, she's pregnant, then y'all both at a baby shower, then y'all just break up a month later. You don't want that,
Mm.
you feel me? So you want to be really mindful of the person that you're giving your seed to, you feel me? Because that's going half of you's gonna be in there, good and bad, and half of her is gonna be in there, her good and bad. Not just you though, her parents, cousins, brothers,
Mm.
sisters, aunts, uncles, all the family DNA that's in her and in you come together. You feel me? So if you don't know the person you have the kid with, it can be a very challenging situation. And I can only imagine like certain people, like I said, they deal with a lot when it comes to the co-parenting. I can't speak to give you advice on how you should deal with a bitter baby mom or a bitter baby dad. But I would just say is one of y'all need to be mature enough to be able to keep things in motion for your child. Because at the end of the day, that little boy, that little girl is a representation of both of y'all. I don't care how the situation is. There's no reason why you shouldn't be involved in your child's life unless you're unsure. And they need to start doing paternity tests in the hospitals. That should also be mandatory too. That's where I stand on the co-parenting.
Damn, this boy spitting, man.
Facts.
I, I ain't gonna keep going. I ain't gonna keep going. Yeah, I ain't gonna keep going on the soapbox. That's the last thing I'm gonna say on there.
Um,
That'd be half the battle, but that not knowing if the child is yours or not. You need to get a paternity test at the hospital and being able to move forward. You feel me?
mm, that struck me in the core like a fucking knife. He just pulled the fucking knife out. Um,
Yeah.
no, I agree. I agree. And we had this is gonna be the third legend. I'm sorry, y'all. This is gonna be the third episode of what we call Dad Stories. So on episode 1, we had Cal, Jordan's brother. He talked about like co-parenting. Some of the he didn't go through court, but it was like a
Mm.
mediation type of deal. So we got perspective on it. So it's good that we got another perspective of somebody who is co-parenting, but not it's not like a nip and tuck, or it's not difficult, or you know what I mean. I'm not saying it's not difficult, but it's not like a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's good. That's good to hear that it still
Yeah.
happens for some people like that, because when it come down to us, bro, it's like it's going good, or you about to be on child support for the most part.
Yeah.
Like that's
And the last thing I'll say, you mentioned off of that is that, the woman you can't be if y'all you can't be bitter. Like you can't make things difficult for a father that wants to be involved. You feel me? That's where for me it gets kind of uncomfortable for me because it's like, why are you making it difficult for the dad to be involved in a child's life when you know at the end of the day it's going to have an effect on your child if the dad is there or not. It's going to have a huge effect on their life and how they communicate. Whether it's a boy or girl, it's going to have a huge effect on who they gravitate towards when they get older.
because it
And
doesn't have
again,
anything to do with the child.
it don't. And that's why I say like adults need to be adults. You feel me? And children need to be children. If you have a child as an adult, at the end of the day, you need to do what's best for your child and make sure they're in the best position possible because their emotions will start reflecting how you two treat each other, whether you know it or not. Then your child's gonna need therapy. Then what happens when your child needs therapy? You get other people involved. You feel me? So you need to think really about the effects of being really difficult when it comes to the co-parenting.
Yo, you know what I just thought about? And we
Mm.
can all answer this. What makes an said individual an adult, because we know people who had kids young, some old, and your age doesn't define where you're at in adulthood, but people have kids, people bring kids into the world, they mistreat them, they mistreat the people that they bring kids into the world with. And since you said that, like, we need to be adults, like, is that easier said than done? What is that? What does a real adult look like?
Yes, I was gonna ask you, did you feel like you was an adult when you found out your baby moms was pregnant?
Or did you feel like you had to be one? And what did
I know.
that
See,
feel like for you?
yeah, I can answer both of y'all's kind of at the same time. Like for me, I'll start with you. You asked, what kind of was it when I found out she was pregnant? Nah, cause like, so my dad always joked about when you 18, you gotta move out, right? Granted, that's when I went to DSU, whatever. My parents were still paying for my college because we didn't qualify for FAFSA and shit like that. So what made me an adult when I found out she was pregnant, and I was like, first thing that clicked in my mind was like, hold on, let me look on FAFSA real quick. What makes an independent student? How can I pay for my school and my parents having to pay out of pocket because FAFSA or some bullshit? You feel me? So excuse my language, but FAFSA or some BS. You feel me? So that was the first step I took into my adulthood, was finding out that once you have a child under 25, you can declare as a independent student. So your school will be paid for by the financial aid. So that was my first step in adulthood. Then me and his mom, we had our own apartment too. So, you know what I'm saying? We had rent, bills due, and stuff like that. So those are kind of like my first steps into adulthood. But what makes a person an adult is really just about handling responsibility. So there's really no age limit to it, or like a beginning age. Because sometimes you got, in certain situations, people can start living on their own at 14, 15 and be good their whole life. In other situations, you got people who can, not be a bum, but you feel me, depend on people until they 50 years old, 60 years old. So I would say what makes an adult is somebody who can sustain being able to live on their own. If not live on your own, being somebody that can sustain or handle their responsibilities. That's what makes you an adult. Not really having your own crib, but it's about handling responsibility. So even if you stay with your parents or something like that, as long as you handle responsibility, helping people out, paying or rent, something that you're helping out towards the family, that would make you a responsible adult. What makes you unresponsible is just not handling those primary functions that you need to be in order to consider a functioning adult.
That was good. Thank
I
you.
agree.
Thank you. Yeah, I do too. I do too. And I had my own depiction, but it was definitely spot on.
Yeah, tell me yours, y'all. I might hear y'all.
I mean,
too.
that's an actuality, like what it is. But aside from that, it's like being able to like see beyond yourself. So, like, yeah, we're adults. We have to pay bills. We have responsibilities, but we also have, when we bring children into the world, we have a duty of of providing, I guess, like a adequate upbringing, right? And sometimes I think this is why, like, I was raised by my mom, and I think per se, like, why my mom had kept me away from certain things or certain people. So it's like just making sure you have, like, I don't know, it's like having discernment in certain situations. Like, was my father even adequate to be in my life? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, or certain people in my life. Just understanding, like, that being an adult is knowing, like having that intuitive, like, feeling of, like, maybe I shouldn't do this, maybe I should do that. Like I said earlier, like, that's like the gripe like I have with, like, becoming an adult. Sometimes I don't even feel like it. Like, sometimes I just be on, like, Jahi time, but it's not just Jahi no more. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's what I was kind of getting at. But it just really goes down to your morals and your, like, what's important, your responsibilities, so on and so forth. So yeah, I agree with you, bro.
For sure.
Long story short, but I had another thought in my mind. That's probably why it clouded my last answer. I used to be envious a little bit. I was slightly an angry black boy growing up. And the reason why is because I didn't understand, or I didn't know who my father was, and I didn't know who my father was because I had a male figure in the home at the time, but he wasn't my father. But Mal, I want to ask you, since you had your father in your life, do you think anything would be different? Do you think your life would be different today if you didn't have your father growing up?
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. And then, like my parents, speaking on the co-parenting, my parents are the co-parent too. You feel me? So I have a stepmom, I have an older stepbrother who's my blood brother. You feel me? I don't even call him stepbrother, but and I have a younger half brother. You feel me? So kind of when I was younger, I made a decision to move in with my dad. I was probably like 4 or 5, 6 years old around that time, right? The reason why is that as I gotten older, I realized a lot of stuff that I would have did. Like I got a funny story. You feel me? It don't really got. It's not that crazy, but like. And I was in 7th grade is the first time I ever smoked weed. You feel me? Wind up getting
Mm-hmm.
caught up, whatever. My dad, he ain't even had to whoop me. He hit me with 1, 2, right in the chest. I ain't touched weed until I found out I was my son. So just imagine that time period. You feel me? So that right there is all I needed to just really just stay on the right path. And one thing my dad always taught me was is that he always taught me this saying. He said, he always asked me, he said, what's bad debt? Like, it make you poor. Like, what's good debt? It make you rich. But what you want to be when you get older? Owner of a business and, you know what I'm saying, say a football player. But he will always make me repeat that saying. I swear to God, anything I love. Every day he would ask me those set of questions. And I would say that's a good standpoint. You talk about the importance of a dollar earlier, right? It all stemmed from that. Just respecting my father and respecting our name. You feel me? We got the same name. So if my dad is the owner of a business, I'm not about to be out here doing something else. I'm trying to be better than that. You feel me? What can I do that my dad didn't do? So I'm in competition with my own pops, but in a good competition. You feel me? Like that's where like I feel like the importance of people talk about the namesake. Why do you want to name your child after you? Because I want my child to understand that we got a certain standard to live to. If I name you this, I don't know if you're gonna have that mindset. You feel me? But I feel like I'll give you the third. You're gonna be able to understand my grandpa is this, my dad is this, and I'm gonna be this. So that's kind of the importance I think a father really plays in our household, whether your child is named after you or not. That's not the moral of the message. The moral of the message is that you're supposed to be that role model for your kid. I always say this, especially for dads that are involved. The number one thing you want to be for your child is their role model. But you got to understand, you don't want them being a role model from the social media. You feel me? You don't want your daughter looking at love and hip hop thinking that's what love is. Hell no, you feel me? And you don't want your son looking at the rapper saying that's what a dude, a male is. You feel me? Because that's really not the reality out there. You know what I'm saying? Those things gonna get you into a lot of hurt and a lot of anger. You feel me? So just having a dad in my life really taught me just the importance of what it means. Is my dad perfect? No, is our relationship probably the best that we both wanted to be? Probably not. But I would be a fool if I said I didn't learn lessons from my pops and just being there, bro. And me even have like a lot of heart to heart since growing up. You feel me? But it's just an understanding you get with your child or your parent. You feel me? I didn't have a dad who was always just like, yo, let's go to let's go out to the track and do some running. Let's go out to the football field, do some drills. My dad's thing saying was that you got a roof over your head, I'm providing for you. But then you got to look at it from a different lens. See, as a child, you like, I want to do this, I want to do that with my dad. You growing up might have a little anger towards not having all the fulfillment that you really want as a child. But when you become an adult, is when your lens switch and you see the progress that your parents made to you to your child. That's where that's why I think an adult really clicks into the mind, where you can now start appreciating those things. You feel me? So I always appreciate my dad, just for everything. And like I said, I chose when I was younger to leave my mom's house to move with him. There's nothing wrong with my mom, but my mom didn't have no other kids beside me. So my dad wound up having my younger brother too. So I had an older brother, younger brother, and I had my stepmom who played a huge role in, what I'm saying, getting me to where I'm at today. But that fatherhood figure is very important in these households, just from the discipline aspect of things, and not just discipline, just being able to see somebody that you can reach out to and a role model that you really want to, what I'm saying, be like.
So you made that decision on your own at 4 or 5 years old?
Yeah, because my mom's living out in Philly, and she's gonna move out to Virginia. You feel me? So she did. I mean, she didn't mind. She wound up did move out to Richmond, Virginia. So every summer I would go out there to visit her, but I didn't want to be away from my family. All my family's in Philly. At the time, we were living in an apartment in Jersey, and my dad wanted to buy a house in Newcastle, like near the Newcastle Ave, near McCullough. You know where that's at? Yeah. So yep. So he wanted to buy a house right there off the highway. So we stayed there for a couple of years, and then we moved out to Bear, and I've been in Bear ever since. But yeah, making that decision with my dad is because, like I said, I had an older brother, had a younger brother on the way, and at that point in time, you tell me you want to be a single, being with your mom, just you and her, or you want to be with your dad,
Your
your
dad,
brother,
And your brothers.
yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
No brainer.
You got all the game systems, all the toys. It ain't like we have nothing. We had, you know what I'm saying, anything we asked for, we would get. So of course I
Right.
want to be around my brothers and be able to play with my cousins and everything like
Right.
that. Moving out to Virginia just wasn't in the game plan. And then when I went out there in the summertime, my mom, she had us to like, so they had us, this is how we talk about co-parenting. My parents were still able to co-parent him well, where even when I went out to visit my mom in the summertime, it wasn't just me in the summer camp. It'd be my older brother, and my older cousin who went out there. You feel me? So we went out there for a month or two. You feel me? So just imagine that. Like I say, I don't know what it's like to have a bad co-parenting experience, but I do know what it's like to have a good parents in your life who just want the best for you.
That's what's up, man. I actually know
Mm.
your older brother too. I went to high school with him.
Yeah, Chris. Malik.
Hmm.
I call him Malik. He
Yeah, I call
goes
him
by Chris
Chris.
Malik.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You feel me? So yeah, but I shout out my older brother, man. He saying like even him. Our relationship is good. And the biggest thing about having an older brother is that you learn from everything that they do, right or wrong. You feel me?
Hmm.
So that's why I feel like the benefit of being a middle child. There's three of us. You feel me? So I always feel like the middle child is always the one. Even if you're not, this is what you should do. You should be looking at what's gonna get me in trouble. What's gonna give me what I want. Oh, all right. If I do this, I'm gonna get in trouble. But if I'm doing this, I'm gonna get what I want. So that's kind of how I looked at it. But yeah, shout out my older brother and my dad, man.
Mm. That's what's up, dog. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad you had. I mean, we've all had it too, cause like Corey with his stepfather, Jordan with his father, and
Mm,
I had an uncle who's always been there for me along the way, so I know the importance of what that male figure means,
sure.
for young men growing up. Just question, cause you said you was what 4 or 5 when you made the decision. Did you
Mm.
ever go back to ask your mom how she felt about you making that decision?
Well, I mean, I see, my mom, she wound up getting a boyfriend, or whatever, who had a son and stuff like that. So me and him
Oh,
were we actually were the same age. They didn't wind up staying together for like years and years later on, but they were together for a couple of years. You feel me? So I didn't necessarily stay with her. I was still in school in Delaware, but
mm,
almost every weekend I would go over because she wound up coming back from Virginia and moving out to Elkton, Maryland. So I wound up moving, not moving with her, but on the weekends I would go out there and spend time with her every weekend. You
okay.
feel me? So that's why I talk about the beauty of co-parenting, where my parents were still able to make it seamless, regardless if they're 2 or 3 hours away, only 20, 30 minutes away. They were still able to make it, what I'm saying, our relationship good.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't get a chance to ask her like how she felt about it because like she unfortunately passed away once I graduated high school. You feel me? So I never had a
Oh,
chance
my
to ask her that.
Oh,
condolences.
sorry to hear
Yeah,
My
that.
and I
condolences.
appreciate that, bro.
My
That was also the
condolences.
reason why like my child was a blessing in my life was I lost her a year before, then he came the year after, and it was like an angel. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what like how I look at it. It's like he's always looked at as my blessing child. You feel me? Because it's like you brought me out of a spot where I mean we all lost people, so we grieve differently. I was in a real bad grieving period. You feel me? So getting that news of a child being born was great, but that's a question I would have asked her. I always ask her, kids, how come you and dad won't get back together? That's the kind of question I always ask her. But
mm,
that'd have been a real good question on how she felt about that move. But ultimately, I would say it was the right decision because in her period of time too, like my dad was older than hers. You feel me? So how he was moving compared to how she was moving, her still going through school, doing this, doing that, trying to get life together, it just made more sense for me to go live with my dad. But
mm,
just on a personal thing, just like yeah, like you feel me. I just want to be around my brothers. You feel me? And me and my older brother, like we hit it right off the bat. As soon as he was there since I was born, or probably a little bit after, like, yeah, within a year. You feel me? So I didn't know no other body else except for him being an older sibling. So yeah, I would say that for sure. But that'd have been a good question, bro. Trust me, I got a couple ones that I wish I could have asked in time that I wish I would have thought of at a younger age. But life is just so funny on how it works with a lot of different things and how we communicate
mm.
with our people. You feel me?
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Pray on that. Pray on that, man. You never know. You might get the answer.
Yeah, I've been manifesting a lot. I don't know if y'all big on vision boards. That's something I've been doing since like 2022. And vision board, if y'all do know what it is, whatever, just really just putting like your ideas
Yeah.
onto
Hmm.
a board, like some pictures or
Hmm.
whatever. So that's also been something. My dad was telling me the other day, he was like, one thing that you gonna keep doing is that everything you're doing in life, you already envisioned it. So you just now living your dream. You're living your vision. So it's like you gotta be prepared for those moments when they come, but then also be appreciative of them too, because we be so busy in America that we've been having huge accomplishment and not even focus on it. But oh yeah, I did this, cool. But like, what's the next thing? And it's like, bro, you're gonna do that to the day you pass away. You don't know when that day is gonna be. So you may not have a chance to celebrate any of the achievements or the milestones. They ain't say you gotta every weekend go out and to the club or pop bottles every weekend. but every once in a while, if it's either a self-care day or, you know what I'm saying, time with the family, do something that y'all can have memories with, because that's the biggest thing we realize is really important as we become becoming adults, and that next generation of parents and that next generation of grandparents, whatever, is that we're the ones creating memories with everybody. You feel me?
Bro, that's so crazy that you said that, because like I swear to God, I started to make a story today, but like I've been like mad antisocial, so I ain't even been on my socials, but I saved the video on my phone. But I started talking
Yeah.
about like I feel like we be in a rush a lot of times, and I feel like because of that phrase like life is short, we look at the glass automatically half empty, whereas like, bro, if you're looking at the glass half full, life is really long. Like I'm
Facts.
not putting a short phrase, like I'm not putting a short timeline on my life, bro. Like it could be long. I've been here for 30 years and this shit been long, and I plan to be here for another 30 plus. Like so it's
Facts.
gonna
Facts.
get longer. Like so what's the rush on everything? Like it's okay to slow down. Everything don't gotta get done right now, bro. Like life is really
Yeah.
long.
hmm
Yeah,
Social media, man.
facts.
Oh, TV and social media, I'll say.
Facts.
You
So
know,
they make
I agree
everything
with
so
you.
quick.
I agree
Mm.
with you, Corey. I feel like life is long, but time moves very fast. So, like when I realized when I like it felt like when I had my kids, time was moving in double. Like
Yeah.
shit is fast, bro. So
Yeah.
I agree with you though, because like in grand scheme of things, like as long as you take care of yourself and maintain good health, like you'll be okay. You know what I mean? And 100 years is a very long time. God willing, I could make it to see.
I don't wanna live
I
that
don't
long.
know, really.
He's I'm
I
gonna be
don't.
on it.
Nah, I had a conversation with my granddad. He kind of put it in perspective to me because he was like, "Yeah, I'm kind of ready to go." Like he's like, "I don't want to get to a
Mm.
point where I can't do for myself." Like I ain't gonna put a
Mhm.
I ain't gonna put a timeline on it, but if I get
Well,
to the point where
everybody at 100 ain't doing that
I'm about to
bad.
say I
but
got a
that's what I'm
couple
saying.
family
Like
members at 100 that's still walking around.
Yo,
Hey,
yeah, but
walking
come
like
on,
around.
dog.
Yeah.
yeah, but if
Not
it
a
get to a
vegetable. If
point
I'm a
where
veggie, get out,
yeah,
get me up out of here.
but if it gets to a point where I can't like do for myself, like you know what I mean, I don't
Yeah,
mind going.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
and 100 years,
gotta
like you
go.
said, that's a long time. Like you seen a
Yeah, yeah,
lot of shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's like
Especially they
how
100
many
years. It's different than
days?
ours.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying, bro.
Seen a
Like
lot of shit.
that could be another conversation, though. Mal, one last thing,
Yeah.
because
Uh,
we get close to it. Um, what are you trying to instill? Like one thing you're trying to instill into your son, because obviously he's a young black boy growing up in society today. What is one thing you would say you're trying to instill in him?
I would say confidence. There's nothing wrong with being confident. Too many times especially in today's time, we try to emasculate our young men. We try to make them, more emotional or do this, do that. And I'm like, listen, we are trying to do so much about changing the child's DNA and how they actually are wired that we wind up messing kids up when they get older. So I would say instilling confidence in my son is the most important thing. I don't care what it is. Like, if it's from you drawing a picture, chasing a picture, you learn how to read a clock, you learn how to do math, you learn how to do multiplication, whatever it is, you feel me? It needs you to be confident in your ability that you think you can figure this stuff out, and you know you could do certain things. When you go out there to do a sport, cool. Like that's for you to have fun. I ain't worried about that. I'm worried about how confident you are in your learning ability, how confident you are in your social skills, how confident are you to go to the park and make some friends. Because that's going to be your gift when you get older. You don't understand that. I'm trying to just teach you different things in life. So I would say number one for me is confidence, and then also just being comfortable being able to come to me and tell me anything that's on your mind. So really like me and his mom, we try to do this weekly thing with him to really get him to open up and to tell us how he feels. Sometimes he has something to say, sometimes he doesn't. But really just understanding, like, listen, there's nothing wrong with coming to me or your mom about anything that's going on. So we can be the ones that can help you get through it. I don't want you relying on other people and then you don't feel like you can't connect to your parents. You feel me? So that's, those two things is really something that I'm really trying to instill in them. It's been working, but it's always going to be a work in progress when it comes to that.
Yeah, I
That's what's
respect
up,
it.
man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy because
That's
me and
what's
the
up.
wife just started doing projects with my oldest son on Wednesdays. We started doing a couple weeks ago, and
Yeah.
they really enjoy that time together. Last week we did a like a Valentine's Day painting, and even
Yeah.
though he didn't finish it, he enjoyed that time that we spent together. So
Yeah, previously, we had spoke about intentionality. I think we talked about it a lot during season 2, right, Corey?
Yeah.
Just being intentional about our parenting, and it's good that you trying to, both of y'all, Jordan and you too, Mal, like y'all are giving time and instilling real principle into our kids, because we need confidence, bro. Like, if you don't believe in yourself, who gonna do it for you? You know what I'm saying? If you're not firm firm in who you are and what you believe, and like that's what makes up like our genetics, our makeup. You know what I mean? So I respect that. I respect that a lot. And my kids are young, so it's kind of like I'm taking it for what it is right now. But I feel it coming. Like I feel that time coming. Like, especially with my daughter, because my daughter is like day by day, bro. She's becoming like my best friend. So like, I already see it. I see it coming right now. So I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
With that being
I
said,
got
go
another
ahead.
question.
Go ahead.
Are you ready to start over? Like you mentioned, you want more kids. That's a big age gap, man.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's
I've been
now or
kind of
never,
good.
bro.
Yeah, nah. So I've been doing the math. So I've been like, if I wait till I'm 30, my son gonna be like 11 at that time. Yeah, he'll be 11 around that time. You feel me? So one thing I was thinking of. So yeah, to answer your question, I would start over, and I'm gonna keep this one not like too elaborated, but I would definitely start over, because one thing I realized with my son is that he's very caring. He's very like, when it comes to his little cousins or older cousins, he's always like emotionally there, trying to be that supporter. So how I would vision him as a big brother would be that big brother who's obviously moved out the house by the time his younger siblings grow up, but he be the one to always come back to let them know, like, you know what I mean, this is what's going on, this is how dad is, how mom is, like, or whatever, vice versa, you feel me, how things should be. If you do this, you're gonna be right. So to me, I would see him as a big brother. But I think it's important. The reason why I did wait though is so I was able to give him, everything that he's asking for. I feel like if I had kids closer in age, it'd be better for him to have like somebody he could talk to, because he always asks for brother or sister. So clearly he wants one. You feel me? But I just feel like for him to understand, like, being a single child, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that we were both young when we had kids, so we didn't want to like have a bunch of kids young and not have life figured out. But yeah, that's kind of one thing. I'm definitely want to start over. I'm trying to be like LeVar Ball out here. You mean? Give me triple B's.
getting ready to ask how many do you want?
I would say three is ideal. At most, I'll have 5, but three is probably like the perfect bunch for.
So would you keep, say if you went for 3, would you keep them close in age?
Oh yeah, the next 2, yeah, I'll definitely keep them close.
Okay.
Because I'll be done by now. Listen, I get in my 40s. I'm trying to be chilling. You mean? I ain't trying to be out here changing diapers and stuff. Like, I be seeing people doing that. They had their first kid at 40. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with it, because you more likely to, if you got a kid at 40, you gotta be set up in life. You feel me? You gotta, like, there's no excuse for you not to be successful. I don't want to hear all that. We go through stuff too, and I don't want to hear that. Listen, you ain't had no kids until your 30s or 40s. You have more than enough
That's a
time to go
fact.
through that, bro. You feel me?
That's a
Like,
fact, though.
That's a
That's a fact.
I'm just saying, like, I have my kid at 19. I'm still doing good for myself. So, like, you got to be able to get yourself in order by that time. But, nah, seriously, I didn't want to be up. Because we all know, them newborn days, to me, that's the hardest
Boy.
part, is that first 6 months to the first year. That's the hardest thing. I didn't want to do that again that early. That's why I was like, I'll wait. I don't care how old he is. I'll wait until he gets older.
Yeah, because me and you
Yeah, that first year is,
will be in a
yeah,
similar situation, because my oldest is 5 and my youngest is 8 months. I mean, my
okay, that's
oldest is
cool.
6 now. My fault, but yeah, starting over. I'm telling you now, it's gonna be like brand new shit, man.
Nah, for real. Yeah. Nah, that's what I'm saying. That's why, like, you know what I mean? I be holding on to that. I'm like, my son's 7 now. He go to sleep when he can go to sleep. Like, he wake up when he got to wake up. I can get him ready in the morning and everything. So it's like, damn, I know if I start over, I got to start over from square one. And it's going to be different post-pandemic. I don't even know how things is now. You know me? So,
Yeah, you reset the clock
damn.
big time.
Yeah.
For real. For real, man.
Yeah, but Cam is old enough. Like, you give him like 2 more years, Baby be 2, can be about
I'm about to say
13.
you got an at home babysitter at that
You got a
point.
nice babysitter.
See, look, we here, y'all.
Yeah.
We here. You feel me? We here. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, hey, dad going
Yeah,
out
right.
tonight. Your brother, your little brother or sister upstairs asleep. Just keep an eye on them. You feel me? If
Yeah.
they wake up, just text me or call me.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? By that time, yeah, you know the kids, they know how to do all that stuff, but at this age with
Yeah.
technology and stuff, so you feel me? That's why like the age gap is probably not really a concern of mine. And I want to have my kids younger where I keep it this last thing, like have my kids young so I can play with them and like even though I didn't play basketball, my son plays basketball. At least I'm able to get him out on the court, teach him some of the basics, and now we're like, I mean, in the process of getting them a trainer. But it's just like just to be physically active with them and moving around. Like Corey mentioned, I ain't trying to be a vegetable out there with kids. I'm trying to be out there, you know what I mean, having fun.
Facts.
Yep.
Yo, so before we get out of here, obviously, and Mal, this is probably the most we've had conversations, but this is probably the most we've talked. So I must say, you are an eloquent speaker, my boy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
It was very. I'm grateful for you to be a guest on our podcast, and if you ever find the time, please come back. Before we get out of here, please shout yourself out. The pod, whatever else you got going on.
Yeah. So again, I mean, I appreciate y'all again for having me on. So I do got my own podcast. It's called the Piece of Knowledge podcast. I do it with me and my co-host Raya. We just push a message out there. Really, just about what I'm saying. It is about being confident in your ability to speak, but just a platform to get people there to voice their opinions and for us to speak on things that we can't speak on at work or with family. You feel me? So maybe going off the rails sometime, but other times you may get in there, you may get a good message too. But yeah, you go. Just look us up, Piece of Knowledge podcast. We'll be dropping a new episode pretty soon, and we'll just keep supporting you guys and vice versa. You feel me? That's why I think this platform is so important, though, because a lot of people got podcasts, and y'all podcast is specifically about pushing that message for not just black fathers, white fathers, too. Any father out there, you feel me, to be involved in a child's life and take that next step. So I definitely think y'all got something special going on here. And just don't I told you this before a job, and I'll tell y'all since y'all heard it too. Like, it's not necessarily that y'all limited yourself. You feel me? Y'all are actually in a space that people aren't really in. So there's nothing wrong with the space you guys are in, and because the sky's the limit for you guys. You feel me? It's all about being consistent with it. And I'm like I said, I want to support you guys, you know what I'm saying, until the wheels fall off. And the wheels never going to fall off because y'all got the mindset of pushing forward, you feel me? So definitely appreciate y'all having me on, man. Again, keep pushing the message. Keep doing y'all thing, man. It's very important. It's very needed out here in the community.
We appreciate that, bro,
Appreciate
for
you,
sure.
man.
Thank you. With that being said, this is Dad Stories 3. Should be.
Wow.
Probably.
Yeah, it's 3.
I'll y'all.
All right, y'all.
Catch y'all on the next one.
All right, peace.